Ah, gather round, friend, and let me tell you a tale steeped in the mists of ancient lore, a tale of beginnings, of majestic ships that once sailed the whispering waves of time itself. In the mythical dawn of the Merethic era, when the world was still young and the stars held dominion over the night sky, there existed a race of elves known as the Aldmer. These ancestors of the High Elves hailed from a mysterious and now lost homeland called Aldmeris, a land so entwined with legend that its very existence seems as ethereal as a dream. Driven by forces unknown, whether a great calamity or divine inspiration, these proud and sagacious elves embarked upon an epic voyage. Their ships, crafted from the finest materials and powered by arcane energies, cut through the tempestuous seas under the guidance of the constellations. It was a journey fraught with peril, where the lines between reality and the supernatural blurred, yet the Aldmer pressed onward. Their odyssey brought them to the glittering shores of the Somerset Isles, an archipelago rich with beauty and brimming with untapped potential. Here, amidst the verdant forests and serene coasts, the Aldmer set their roots and began to build. With a grace and sophistication unmatched by any other, they established one of Tamriel's earliest and most formidable civilizations. Spires of alabaster rose to kiss the sky, while the hum of magical energies became a symphony in the very air they breathed. In this cradle of enlightenment and power, the Altmer, or High Elves, emerged as the epitome of Aldmer mastery. Their command over the arcane arts was so profound that it seemed they could shape the very fabric of Nirn itself. Libraries filled with tomes of esoteric knowledge sprang up across the Isles, where scholars and mages delved into the deepest mysteries of existence. Temples to the Adra and towers dedicated to the stars became centers of worship and learning, places where the physical and metaphysical intertwined. The Altmer were not merely content to observe and record, they sought to perfect and transcend. Their experiments in magic and alchemy pushed the boundaries of what was possible, forging new paths of understanding and capability. They endeavored toward what they believed was an ideal state, a reflection of their ancient and divine lineage. Through their unwavering dedication, the Somerset Isles became the unrivaled epicenter of magical and cultural brilliance. As time flowed onward like an ever-changing river, the influence of the Altmer spread across Tamriel. Their wisdom was sought after by other races, their art admired, and their arcane secrets coveted. The high towers of the Somerset Isles stood as symbols of a civilization that had not only endured the passage of time but thrived amidst it. Thus, from such auspicious beginnings, the tale of the Aldmeri dominion unfolds, a saga of aspiration, ambition, and ageless grandeur. The legacy of the Altmer is inscribed in the annals of history, a testament to what can be achieved when the pursuit of knowledge and mastery knows no bounds. Ah, my friend, the tale takes a darker, more tumultuous turn as the sands of time continue their relentless flow. The Somerset Isles, once a sanctuary of illuminated tranquility and arcane mastery, flourished in splendid isolation for centuries. These islands, with their towering spires and shimmering coastlines, remained aloof from the affairs of the mainland, a haven of unrivaled elven sophistication. But all things, even the most sheltered of realms, are touched by the inexorable march of history. The rise of the Cyrodiilic Empire, first under the legendary Saint Alessia and later the indomitable Tiber Septim, heralded the end of the Aldmeri's age of seclusion. The might of men was an unforeseen tempest, a force that challenged the once dominant elves. With the establishment of the Septim Empire, the Somerset Isles found themselves drawn into a larger political and military landscape. During the Third Era, they became a kingdom within this ever-expanding empire, an arrangement that bred resentment and a sense of uneasy subjugation. The proud Altmer chafed under a yoke they deemed unworthy, a yoke imposed by the ascendant races of men. The true turning point came in the wake of cataclysmic events, the Oblivion Crisis, Daedric upon Nirn, tearing the very fabric of reality asunder. The empire, weakened and reeling from the devastation, began to crumble. This period of chaos and the subsequent dissolution of imperial power presented a rare window of opportunity for those who were vigilant and ambitious. Enter the Thalmor, an influential and fervent faction within Altmer society. Advocates of elven supremacy, they saw the chance to seize the reins of destiny. They masterminded a coup, taking control of the Somerset Isles and renaming them Alinor, a nod to an era of elven preeminence. Under their iron-fisted leadership, the Aldmeri Dominion was reborn, no longer a mere collection of elven aristocrats, but a formidable political and military entity. The Thalmor's vision extended beyond the sapphire shores of Alinor. Valenwood, home of the Bosmer, became their next target. Through a blend of diplomacy, coercion, and the subtlety of manipulation, they forged an alliance with the Wood Elves. The Green Pact bound Bosmer, either swayed by promises of mutual prosperity or subdued by the sheer force of Thalmor influence, found themselves part of this burgeoning dominion. The dawn of the Fourth Era marked the resurgence of the Aldmeri Dominion, now a power to be reckoned with on the grand stage of Tamriel. With ruthless ambition and unparalleled organization, the Thalmor set their sights on the heart of human power, the Empire. The Great War was unleashed, a conflict between the revived Aldmeri Dominion and the Mede dynasty ruling over Cyrodiil. Blood and fire swept across the land, cities crumbled, and countless lives were lost. The war culminated in the signing of the White Gold Concordat, a treaty that brokered a tenuous peace, but at great cost to the Empire. Terms that favored the Thalmor left the Empire weakened, its spirit fractured, and its territories vulnerable. The Dominion, emboldened by their tangible victories, emerged not only as a victor, but as a shadow ever looming over the future of Tamriel. Thus, the story of the Aldmeri Dominion is one of reclamation and dominance, a tale of a once relegated power rising to challenge the established order. Under the banner of the Thalmor, the Dominion's reach extended farther than it ever had before, reshaping the political and cultural landscape of Tamriel with every calculated move. Ah, my friend, you now stand on the precipice of understanding the recent chronicles of the Aldmeri Dominion, a nation whose ambition burns as fervently as the sun that sets over their sapphire seas. In these latter days, the Thalmor, the venerated and feared faction leading the charge, have cemented their role as both the architects and enforcers of the Dominion's aspirations. Their agenda, steeped in the pursuit of elven resurgence, has seen relentless advancements, sometimes at great cost. One of the Thalmor's foremost objectives has been the eradication of Talos worship, rooted in their disdain for what they perceive as an affront to mere superiority. To them, the deification of a man, Tiber Septim, was an intolerable blasphemy against the ancient and divine heritage of the elves. This crusade against Talos worship was not just a religious endeavor, but a symbol of their broader ambition to reclaim what they believed was rightfully theirs. The once secluded Somerset Isles, now known as Alinor, thrived as the nerve center of these sweeping movements. From the opulent cities of Somerset, where alabaster towers glisten under the sun, the Thalmor orchestrated intricate political and military maneuvers. Their reach extended far and wide, their influence palpable even in the darkest corners of Tamriel. However, such grandeur and purpose came at a price. Domestic policies under the Thalmor grew increasingly oppressive, especially towards non-Altmer citizens. Races other than the High Elves found themselves subjugated, their freedoms curtailed under a regime that permitted little dissent. The state of Tamriel continued to be one of fraught tension. The enduring rivalry between the Aldmeri Dominion and the beleaguered Empire of Men cast a shadow long and dark. From the windswept blue palace of Solitude in Skyrim to the ancient and storied towers of the Adamantine in Alinor, whispers abound of espionage, clandestine plots, and preparations for another inevitable war. Skirmishes and covert operations became the order of the day, each side probing for weaknesses, ever watchful, ever wary. Yet despite the growing darkness, the Altmer remain resolute in their belief that reclaiming their ancient glory is a sacred duty, a mission ordained by the divine. The vision of a unified Tamriel under Mer leadership drives them, fuels their every move. They see themselves as inheritors of a grand destiny, stewards of a future where elven supremacy is restored and unchallenged. The fate of other races teeters precariously on this knife edge of ambition and resolve. The balance of power hangs by a thread, one that could be severed by a single act of war or diplomacy. As dusk envelops the swaying boughs of Valenwood and the rolling hills of Hammerfell, an uneasy peace prevails, fraught with uncertainty and the specter of conflict. Thus, as the sun sets over the azure seas of Somerset, gilding the horizon in hues of gold and flame, the legacy of the Aldmeri dominion stands revealed. It is a towering monument to relentless ambition, unyielding power, and the timeless quest for supremacy. The road ahead for Tamriel is shrouded in mist and shadow, paths diverging towards peace or war, unity or division. But one truth remains immutable. The Aldmeri dominion is far from finished with its grand designs. Their story, forged in the crucible of ambition and conflict, continues to unfold, leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of Tamriel's future.